Good morning. Yeah, check it away. Okay, good. How are you? Hope you're well. And I had something very strange actually yesterday. I had this. I was in this dream, but it felt quite vivid and real. Maybe it was like an alternative reality. And basically, what would happen is in this dream, because I do like care work anyway, I had to take someone to hospital. Well, these paramedics turned up, but what they did is they said, right, well, we need you and we need you. So they kind of co-opted people. It was like a socialist society. So if you had a skill set or job role, job purpose, whatever, and they could, someone could turn around and say, right, well, we need you to help out. And so you didn't really get a choice, which was pretty crazy. So yeah, the issue there would be you just get drafted in, I guess, for the motherland or something like that. It's a different system in place, and how a society like that would function if you're sort of determined to be qualified or skilled, and you get paid credits. But it's very strange, yeah, because it was me and somebody else, and we got asked to get in the back of the ambulance on this vehicle, and there were some people that needed to go into hospital. And then I had trouble because I had to go back and get some of my gear, and I said I'd meet them there basically. And so I needed to figure out which unit they'd gone to, and these units were like makeshift units as well. So they were reusing like buildings, repurposing buildings, which makes a lot of sense. If you've got like these empty buildings and they're talking about bed blocking, then you could just stick people in there who are recovering into sort of these makeshift wards, really. And then you have a team of carers come in who just support them, and maybe some sort of other nurses in place. And I think this went throughout society into other areas as well. And there was a credit system set up. And I wasn't too sure if the government paid the people a kind of allowance, but the companies paid the money towards the government. So that's how it worked in that way. And this corporate relationship was a bit more closer. Possibly will be with banks, government are sort of integrated anyway, really. They're just departments, but they might become closer in the future. So I thought that was interesting. And I was sort of following the news on Trump and this thing about buying Greenland, which falls into another agenda, which possibly when people talk about Planet X and Nibiru, because it was, he doesn't believe in global warming. Yeah, owning a bit of land like that is possibly due to resources as well. There might be a massive amount of petrol or something below, petroleum below Greenland. I forgot what's actually underneath there. Or there could be some other ancient site. So I don't think it is Atlantis. But there was the idea that possibly we've had a polar shift, and the land's under other areas now. That's all moved over, and this is what created the flood and things like that. And whether it was something that we notice, I mean, there's always this debate with flat earthers that that we're not actually moving. But to be honest, because we're energy, we're always moving, so it's a bit more complicated. It could be that this is just a big holographic universe, and so therefore it's just like a computer game law. It doesn't have to be caught up too much in physics. It's about what the consciousness perceives. I mean, when people look at a telly, they get to see the shapes, and they perceive that as a reality, and so they can follow the story. but in essence it's just a load of light and electricity going through the telly and projecting pictures, which they choose to see as like I say, as a reality. So in computer games, you play a computer game, you feel like you're immersed in that reality, even though it might be different. To you, it feels very real, and you can get your adrenaline, and like you can be, you can kind of be scared, and then you go the other way, you can get a kind of buzz out of it, like some survival horror type stuff, things like that. So yeah, it's interesting how things project in different realities. So I don't know what the big plan is for Greenland, but it's been mentioned before because places like Russia, for example, are in this the Goldilocks zone if the planet warms up. Because it's cooler, so they probably calculate certain areas. Like they've got areas, they've got a map where they consider areas might flood. They've also got areas where the land's good and there's fuel and natural resources. I don't know why the elite are so hell bent on bloody petrol. They can move on to other things now. It's just laziness, I think. They found a system that works well, and then they think, well, we're exploiting to the maximum. And now they're probably making things. I'm surprised they're not making some sort of synthetic fuel and mixing out with other things. I'm sure they are. They add additives to the fuel, so there's obviously the research gone into understanding it. But it's the long-term answers are not there really. So hopefully there is a new age for society. It's not that I want to do away with the old one, I just want to improve it. It seems like we're dependent on working like slaves and doing anything for money and not giving a shit about other people. It's just not the kind of society I want to live in. Rather that I'm part of a valued collective, I guess. That's what they're working towards. So we'll just have to see what's the plan for the future. Anything else? And they're still doing the fasting. It's interesting when people don't see you for a while. They might say, "I noticed you changed a lot." And they might not be able to pin it down straight away as well. They just notice something's changed about you. They go, "Oh, you notice you look different. You got a beard, and it's like you lost some weight and stuff." They're like, "Oh, you look different." See, it's a bit of a collective thing. It's not like just weight loss. You don't look like a thinner version of yourself. It's that your body's more in line with how your genetics blueprint was meant to be. When you introduce different chemicals, your body's got to cope with it, and they create inflammation and stuff like that. But at some level, you can just distort the way you are, the way you're perceived. So it's one of these things. And also, I say sweetness, even though they might not say it's calories, God knows what it does to the body. So high sweetness we want to avoid as well, because it could be an ineffective sugar, but it's still getting processed as some kind of sugar. And to be honest, you don't need it really. If your palate needs that much stimulation, then there's a problem with yourself possibly. Things to look at. It's a bit like if you had to have a drink constantly on certain coffees, you need to get the caffeine high right up. I did know a guy, and he was actually completely stressed all the time to his job, and he used to have a coffee percolator. I don't know, my bloody mouth's gone, brain's gone a bit. But yeah, he used to have filtered coffee all the time, and He was just a bit of a nervous wreck, so he's just pumping his cortisol through the roof. And I think he liked it at one level. He liked his stress. But it was a mad situation. The man was a manager from a larger branch. He had a breakdown, and they put him in the smaller branch. So he's on big branch money in a smaller branch, which is just pointless because it meant if they're not making enough money, they can't really afford to keep him. It was something like he was on probably £30 an hour, and then if he worked certain hours of the weekend, he's probably on double bubble and stuff. But it was stupid. He come in and done some putting stuff away in the shelves. For a shelf stocker, you don't want to be paying bloody £40 an hour just to stick vegetables on the shelf and stuff. I mean, anyone could have done that. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, trip down memory lane. But we could have this society, thinking back to that, where just people would say, right, oh, you've got this, I need to borrow it, and then they just borrow it, or the state might just say, right, this is disused building, then can we use it for storage and things like that, which would be better, because then at least maybe a better use of wasted assets. Anyway, this is a big sign off, as much as